Chosen one, stop scrolling right now. You need to sit down for this. Not later, not after another video. What is about to hit your life is massive. The algorithm did not bring you here today. The Holy Spirit orchestrated this exact moment because you are standing on the edge of a massive breakthrough. Do not click away. Your future self is watching this exact second with tears of absolute joy. Take one deep breath, slowly. Drop your tense shoulders right now. You feel that strange shift in the atmosphere, do you not? The strange exhaustion you have felt over the last 72 hours is very real. You have been walking around with a heavy chest, and no matter how much you sleep, you wake up entirely drained. I need you to know that you are not going crazy. You have been fighting silent battles in the unseen realm. You smile for your family while your spirit carries a weight nobody else can see. You are a spiritual shield. You absorb the chaos of the people around you so they can experience peace. But this holy sacrifice has left your own physical vessel completely depleted. The spiritual exhaustion is suffocating you, but heaven sees every burden you carry. Listen to me carefully. I know you have been asking heaven why the delay has been so long. You have been praying for a shift in your finances and your peace. You pushed hard, but the doors seemed totally glued shut. You thought heaven was ignoring your silent cries. But God was doing something profound behind the scenes, because the delay you experienced was never a denial of your blessing. The delay was absolute exactness. God kept those doors closed because entering them too early would have crushed your spirit. You needed time to build your spiritual muscles. The enemy tried to use this waiting period to plant seeds of doubt in your tired mind. They wanted you to surrender right before the massive shift occurs. But you are a cycle breaker, and your endurance is about to pay off immensely. Think about the intense isolation you have experienced lately. Friends you used to trust suddenly pulled away. You felt entirely alone in a crowded room. You thought it was a harsh punishment. You thought you did something wrong. But your isolation is a divine quarantine, and God is actively pulling you away from the noise to protect your sacred frequency. What heaven is about to reveal will finally make sense of every single tear. You have cried in your car when nobody was looking. You have hidden your pain behind a gentle smile, but heaven kept a precise record of your holy endurance. The system does not want you to know this truth. The sleepers around you will never understand your quiet struggle, but your spiritual reward is already in motion. Lock your attention right here. Do not let your mind wander for even 1 second. There is a profound reason why the spiritual warfare against you has been so heavy. The enemy is absolutely terrified of your awakening. They know that once you realize your true power, their entire system of control will instantly collapse. You are a masterpiece of God. You have always been the one to give endlessly. You pour your energy into healing broken people who refuse to heal themselves. You give until your soul is bone dry. And when you fall down, there is no one there to catch you. This unequal energy exchange is exactly what drained your spirit. But heaven is stepping in to sever those heavy cords today, freeing you from burdens that were never yours to carry. The sudden stillness you feel right now is not empty space. It is the deep breath before the massive wave hits your life. God ordered you to sit down today because a standing person cannot easily receive a massive crown. 3. You are transitioning from a tired survivor into a quiet victor. The universe is preparing to hand you the keys to a completely new season of absolute abundance. I need you to stay with me until the very end of this message. If you leave early, you will miss the exact divine verdict that heaven has issued for your life. A mega deposit of wealth and peace has already been dispatched from the spiritual realm. The coordinates are set directly for you. Prepare your tired heart right now, because heaven is about to turn your longest battle into your greatest victory. Before I go any further, I need you to understand something deeply. You must look at your current life through a completely different lens. The world tells you that your isolation means you are broken. They want you to believe that your sudden loss of friends is a sign of your own personal failure, but they are completely blind to the spiritual reality. Your isolation is not a punishment at all. Your isolation is actually a divine quarantine meant to protect your frequency. God saw the hidden intentions of the people sitting at your table. He knew their energy was quietly draining your spirit while you were busy trying to love them. He had to remove them suddenly to protect the massive blessing coming your way. You are not simply wandering through life feeling lonely. You are just heavily protected from hidden enemies. And what about that intense physical exhaustion you feel every single day? The medical system wants to give it a clinical label and tell you that you are depressed. But you must understand that you are not clinically depressed. Your spirit is simply exhausted from fighting brutal battles in the unseen realm. While your physical body is desperately trying to rest, your spirit is acting as a heavy shield for your entire bloodline. This is a profound spiritual reality that very few people can comprehend. You are the designated generational cycle breaker for your family. You absorb the generational trauma so it does not pass on to the next generation. That is exactly why your shoulders are so tense and your mind races at night. You are doing profound spiritual labor for people who do not even realize it. It is a holy assignment, but your season of being the unpaid spiritual bodyguard is finally over. Heaven is stepping in right now to relieve you of this massive burden. Let us talk about the long delay you have endured recently. You watched other people get their blessings quickly while you remained completely stuck in the same difficult place. You asked heaven why your turn was taking so terribly long. You must realize that God's delay is never a denial of your ultimate destiny. The painful delay you experienced was actually a matter of absolute exactness. Heaven was not simply ignoring your daily prayers for relief. Heaven was meticulously preparing your character to sustain the upcoming wealth. If God had given you the mega deposit a year ago, it would have destroyed you. You were still deeply connected to people who would have drained your new resources instantly. You had to learn how to say no, and you had to learn how to establish firm boundaries to protect your peace. The painful waiting period was a rigorous training ground. It prepared you for the massive authority you are about to hold. You are finally ready to receive without dropping the crown. There are absolutely no coincidences in a chosen one's life. Everything you have survived was a carefully planned divine appointment. The sudden betrayals you suffered taught you profound spiritual discernment. The painful financial struggles taught you unshakable reliance on the divine universe when everything else failed you. You did not survive all of that trauma just because you are a tough person. You survived all of those brutal storms because you are truly chosen. You are truly a beautiful masterpiece created by the divine hand. The enemy wanted you to feel like a constantly broken project that always needs fixing. But you do not need to be fixed or repaired by anyone. You simply need to awaken to your true royal identity. You are not starting over from scratch right now, because you are finally finishing the long preparation phase of your life. Your spiritual foundation is completely set and ready for the massive structure. Think back to the strange stillness you have felt over the last few days. The air around you feels heavy but incredibly quiet and peaceful. This is the exact atmospheric shift that happens right before a massive breakthrough manifests in the physical world. The spiritual realm is realigning itself to serve your brand new season of abundance. But there is a dark reason why your journey had to be this exceptionally difficult. We must uncover the truth about your unseen enemies. The system deliberately made your path agonizing because they recognized your light before you did. They did not hate you because of your personal human flaws. They hated the blinding light inside you that easily exposed their heavily guarded hidden darkness. They tried to keep you stuck in survival mode so you would never step into your true power and authority. But their frantic efforts to keep you oppressed have officially failed. You are completely breaking free from their toxic control right now. You are stepping out of the brutal wilderness today. The universe is officially closing your long chapter of unnecessary suffering. You have passed the silent tests that you did not even know you were actively taking. Take a quiet moment to truly honor your own resilient spirit right now. You walked directly through the intense fire, and you did not let the flames consume your gentle heart. Prepare yourself mentally, because the divine compensation heading your way is absolutely massive. Now let us talk about what the enemy desperately tried to hide from you. The system is currently in a state of absolute panic. They are watching you closely and they are terrified. You are finally waking up from the long illusion they created to keep you compliant. The elite matrix relies entirely on your spiritual blindness to maintain their heavy control over your life. They fed on your low frequency for years. Every time you felt anxious or financially desperate, you were unknowingly feeding their dark system. Your constant exhaustion was not a random health issue at all. It was a calculated spiritual attack designed to drain your immense creative power. They needed you weak, so you would settle for their pathetic crumbs of survival. Think about the specific people who recently betrayed your deep trust. They were not just bad friends or misunderstood family members. The enemy actively used them as dark pawns to infiltrate your sacred energy field. They were sent to siphon your blinding light and leave you completely empty. But their malicious plan failed miserably because your spirit is heavily protected. The group that came against you is experiencing massive confusion right now. They thought your gentle kindness was a sign of pathetic weakness. They whispered your name in secret rooms and launched a vicious smear campaign to isolate you from your divine blessings. But heaven simply allowed them to dig their own spiritual graves while you remained perfectly quiet and peaceful. You carry an incredibly dangerous spiritual authority in your DNA. A chosen one who fully knows their immense worth is the greatest threat to the entire matrix. When you vibrate at a high frequency, their dark system begins to fracture and collapse around you. That is exactly why the spiritual warfare against you escalated so dramatically in the recent months. They tried to hit your finances the hardest because they know how the physical world operates. Constant financial stress forces your mind into a permanent state of fearful survival mode. When you are constantly worrying about basic bills, you cannot focus on your massive spiritual mission. The financial blockage was a totally intentional trap to keep you grounded in the dirt. But a massive shift just happened in the unseen realm over the last 72 hours. God issued an absolute protective decree over your exact frequency and your physical bloodline. The enemy can no longer touch your mind or intercept your incoming blessings. Their dark access codes to your spirit have been permanently revoked by the highest divine authority in the universe. The vicious smear campaigns they launched are rapidly backfiring on them. What they whispered in the dark is now being loudly shouted from the rooftops for everyone to hear. Karma is actively working on your behalf right now to restore your stolen honor. They are completely turning on each other while you simply sit back and watch their chaotic kingdom quickly crumble. You do not even have to lift a single finger to defend your good name. Heaven is stepping in as your personal defense attorney to clear your massive record. Your absolute silence in the face of their loud disrespect is your most powerful weapon in this war. They desperately want you to react emotionally so they can steal your energy one last time. Do not give it to them. Your inner light is becoming incredibly blinding to the unconscious sleepers around you. They will naturally try to pull you back down into their low vibrational drama out of pure jealousy. They miss the old version of you that they could easily manipulate and control for their own selfish needs. But you have evolved far beyond their petty reach and their toxic manipulation. You must stay fiercely grounded in your quiet authority as this transition completes itself. Do not engage with their frantic energy or answer their desperate calls for attention. Heaven is actively clearing the final physical path for your incoming mega deposit right now. The strange signs you have seen recently are absolute proof that the massive victory is already yours. Let me walk you through the blueprint of this profound spiritual breakthrough today. There are silent signs proving that the universe is fighting a massive invisible battle on your behalf right now. You need to pay close attention to the last 72 hours of your life. The recent spiritual signs are incredibly subtle, but they prove beyond any doubt that a massive shift is approaching your front door. Sign number 1 is the sudden, unexplainable quietness in your physical environment. Your phone has stopped ringing with their constant toxic drama. People who usually drain your energy have vanished from your daily routine. You thought you were being completely abandoned by the world, but heaven was actively clearing the wide runway for your massive arrival because your brand new season requires absolute purity. God creates a profound vacuum right before He drops a massive blessing into your life. The deep silence in your room is not empty space at all. It is the heavy presence of divine protection wrapping securely around your house. The enemy is desperately trying to reach you right now, but your spiritual walls are built so incredibly high that their toxic frequency cannot ever penetrate your sacred peace. Sign number 2 is a total emotional detachment from outcomes that used to trigger your anxiety. A few short weeks ago, you would have panicked about your tight financial situation. You would have cried over the harsh rejection you faced from people. But now you feel a strange sense of apathy toward the chaos because your spirit has surrendered to the divine plan God has written for you. This profound detachment is not a sign of emotional depression or giving up. It is the highest level of spiritual surrender you can possibly achieve. Your spirit already knows that the final victory is secured in the unseen realm. Your subconscious mind is at peace because it has already seen the divine verdict, and you are resting safely in your quiet authority while the system crumbles. Sign number 3 involves specific physical sensations happening in your tired body. Have you experienced sudden ringing in your ears or heavy pressure behind your eyes? This strange phenomenon is not a standard medical issue. You might feel an overwhelming urge to sleep in the middle of a busy afternoon because your physical vessel is downloading new spiritual frequencies. Your precious DNA is actively upgrading to handle the massive wealth and authority coming your way. The heavy air you feel in your bedroom is the literal weight of divine glory, and you are actively shedding decades of heavy generational trauma in a matter of hours. The sudden physical exhaustion is just the glorious byproduct of a massive spiritual healing process taking place. Sign number 4 is the sudden return of toxic people from your painful past. You might receive a random message from an old friend or a former partner. They always seem to crawl back right when your energy reaches a beautiful high peak. This return is the absolute final test of your boundaries, because the dark matrix is checking to see if you will foolishly accept the old familiar poison. You must pass this final test with absolute silence and firm boundaries. Do not reply to their frantic messages, and do not explain your spiritual growth to them. Your profound silence is the final key that permanently locks the heavy door to your painful past. The universe is simply waiting to see if you value your new peace. The sleepers will never understand your journey. Gently, like this video right now. This action officially seals your sacred frequency against the dark attacks of the enemy. Do not do it for a worldly algorithm, but do it as a physical declaration to the universe that you are in perfect spiritual alignment with heaven. You are openly agreeing with the divine shift happening in your life. The old heavy season is permanently finished. Before I reveal the divine decree that heaven has prepared for you, you must deeply absorb these signs. Every single strange occurrence in your life right now is building toward a massive explosion of grace, and you are no longer the broken victim of your difficult circumstances. You are a gorgeous masterpiece, stepping directly into the glorious light of your new season. Get ready for the massive flood. Now, remember that strange isolation I mentioned at the very beginning? Remember the massive doors that slammed completely shut in your face? Here is the absolute truth heaven kept hidden from the dark enemy. That painful rejection was your ultimate protection. God did not close that heavy door to aggressively deny your deepest prayers. He closed it because entering that corrupted space would have totally destroyed your bright spirit. He was cleansing your circle so he could safely drop the mega deposit into your hands. The massive thing about to hit your life is your ultimate vindication. In the mighty name of the divine creator, I break every generational cycle today. I aggressively shatter the heavy chains wrapping around your tired mind. The bitter poverty stops with you right now, and the generational exhaustion completely stops with you today. You are the chosen cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. I decree that the suffocating mantle of survival mode is falling off your shoulders in this exact second. Heaven is stepping in to multiply what the enemy cruelly stole from your life. You are no longer surviving in the dark wilderness. You are officially released from healing broken people. I declare right now that your season of being a footstool is permanently over. The powerful universe is completely flipping the entire script today. Those who sat at comfortable tables and spoke poorly of your good name are facing divine justice. They are about to physically witness God prepare a massive feast for you right in front of their jealous eyes. You do not have to lift a single finger to defend yourself. Heaven is aggressively stepping in as your ultimate defense attorney. The deep confusion they actively tried to cast onto your peaceful life is rapidly returning to their own dark camp. Watch them panic as your peace becomes entirely untouchable. The elite matrix is absolutely terrified right now. They desperately wanted you exhausted and financially desperate, so you would settle for their pathetic crumbs. But a massive shift has just violently fractured their dark system, and the divine frequency of effortless abundance is completely overriding the long delay in your life. God is directly unlocking a mega deposit of immense wealth and crystal clarity that the elite circles tried to keep heavily hidden from you. You are not trapped at the painful bottom anymore. You are currently holding the sacred keys to the entire kingdom. Your massive financial breakthrough is arriving with shocking speed. Breathe it out completely, right now. The brutal spiritual war you bravely fought for your family is officially won. Every single tear you cried in the absolute dark is turning into tangible gold. The massive doors that were glued shut are swinging violently open, and the divine universe is flooding your immediate physical reality with blessings that will totally shock your local community. You survived the blazing fire, and you came out completely purified, meaning the dark season of begging for basic scraps is officially over. You are stepping into effortless and beautiful grace. I decree complete restoration over your physical health right now. The spiritual exhaustion that poisoned your tired bones is completely leaving your body. Your creative energy is returning with a massive and unstoppable force today. Every single opportunity that you thought was permanently lost is circling back to you right now with a multiplied harvest that will leave you absolutely speechless. You are stepping into a profound timeline of instant manifestation. What used to take you 10 agonizing years will now take 10 beautiful days, because the divine acceleration on your life is completely real. You must claim this massive victory with your entire spirit today. Do not shrink yourself down to make the sleepers feel comfortable. You have earned every single drop of this magnificent glory. The brutal pain was just the heavy hammer forging your indestructible crown. You are an anointed warrior who successfully walked through the absolute darkest valleys without ever losing your profound compassion for humanity. The heavy chains are completely broken, and the karmic debt is paid in full while your unseen enemies are officially defeated. This specific moment marks the permanent end of your old struggling identity. You are an entirely new creation stepping into massive power. But you must be incredibly careful as you walk into this bright new season, because mishandling this massive deposit will attract new spiritual attacks. The universe is handing you unimaginable wealth and absolute authority today. You must know exactly how to protect this precious gift. Heaven demands your absolute focus right now. You have just received the greatest spiritual decree of your entire life. The massive blessing is officially in your hands right now. But heaven requires you to understand a critical rule about spiritual stewardship, because you absolutely cannot carry this massive new weight using your tired old habits. The enemy is watching very closely to see how you handle this new power. You must guard your sacred energy completely. The very first rule of your new season is absolute silence. When the mega deposit hits your life, you will feel a strong urge to tell everyone. You will desperately want to prove your cruel doubters wrong, but prematurely announcing your divine blessing will invite toxic jealousy into your fragile new reality. Do not say a single word. You must keep your massive victories completely private right now. Let them misunderstand your sudden quietness. Let them assume whatever they want about your peaceful isolation. You no longer need to explain your soul to people who are heavily committed to misunderstanding you. Silence is absolutely not a sign of weakness. Silence is deep wisdom under perfect control, and your profound calm is your new, undeniable authority in this loud world. You must immediately establish iron walls around your personal energy. The people who completely drained you in your dark season cannot sit at your new royal table. They will suddenly return and beg for your precious light when they see your massive success. Do not let them back into your space. Your absolute refusal to tolerate disrespect is the only way to protect your wealth. You must officially resign from your painful job as the family therapist. You can no longer set yourself on fire simply to keep toxic people warm. God gave you this massive deposit to build your own glorious kingdom. You are not required to drag ungrateful sleepers to the finish line anymore. Release the heavy guilt of leaving them behind, because their spiritual journey is not your heavy responsibility to carry. The dark system will try to bait your ego into completely destroying your peace. They will launch tiny annoyances to see if you will drop your heavy crown to fight them in the mud. Do not ever lower your high frequency to address their pathetic drama. An anointed king or queen does not scream at peasants. You simply smile and let divine karma handle every single one of their malicious attacks while you remain perfectly untouched. When the massive financial breakthrough manifests, move with extreme stealth. Do not buy flashy items just to impress people who secretly hate your bright spirit. Use the new wealth to quietly build your unshakable foundation. Heaven trusted you with this massive resource because you know how to suffer gracefully. Now you must quickly learn how to succeed with absolute humility. From this exact moment forward, your physical presence alone will command deep respect. You will not have to demand attention when you walk into a crowded room. People will naturally feel the massive shift in your spiritual frequency. They will feel the heavy weight of the divine glory resting comfortably on your shoulders. You are a quiet victor, walking in absolute divine protection, and no dark weapon formed against your peaceful life will ever prosper. Your energy is far too expensive to spend on cheap daily drama anymore. You must protect this sacred peace with everything you currently have. The dark matrix has officially lost all of its control over your beautiful mind today. As we approach the final moments of this divine message, you must prepare your heart for the ultimate seal, because the universe is completely ready to close this holy transaction. Do not ever apologize for the massive boundaries you are setting today. Your peaceful space is a holy sanctuary that requires strict entry codes. Only those who truly value your bright spirit are allowed to witness your new glory. The old version of you would have compromised to keep the fake peace. Stand tall in your quiet power, because the painful wilderness is permanently behind you. We have reached the final moment of this divine message. The heavy storm has completely passed over your house. Look around your spiritual environment right now, because the brutal winds that tried to break your tired spirit have finally settled. The atmosphere is incredibly clear and remarkably peaceful. The divine universe is ready to permanently seal your massive blessing. I am placing a strict spiritual seal over your tired mind today. No dark frequency can ever infiltrate your quiet thoughts again. The deep anxiety that used to keep you awake at night is permanently banished. When you close your eyes tonight, you will experience the deepest rest of your entire life, and your physical body will feel completely safe. I decree a holy shield over your massive incoming wealth. The dark system cannot intercept the financial breakthrough that heaven just released to you. Every single resource you receive will be completely purified and heavily protected. The enemy will never again steal the harvest you worked so painfully hard to plant, because your divine compensation is perfectly secured. You must walk forward from this moment with absolute regal pride. You are the quiet victor of a massive, unseen war. Do not ever let anyone make you feel small or insignificant again. The universe handcrafted you to carry this specific glory, and your profound light is desperately needed in this incredibly dark world. You are a masterpiece. The dark matrix will constantly try to confuse you in the future. They want you disconnected from this powerful divine frequency. Subscribe to this sanctuary and turn on the bell right now, so the enemy cannot intercept your future messages. You need a safe place to rest your spirit when the outside world gets loud. We will keep this holy lighthouse burning. Leave a gentle word in the comments below this video right now. We absolutely do not do it for worldly visibility. We do it as a powerful spiritual seal of our divine agreement today. Type the word Amen to firmly lock this massive blessing into your physical reality, because your simple action signals to heaven that you are entirely ready. Tomorrow morning will feel entirely different when you wake up. The crushing heaviness will no longer sit tightly on your chest. You will open your eyes and feel an unshakable sense of beautiful optimism. The dark clouds of constant survival mode have permanently cleared, and you are finally allowed to enjoy the beautiful life you fought so hard to create. Let the sleepers remain completely asleep in their comfortable illusions. You do not need to wake them up or prove your divine worth. Your massive success will quietly speak for itself in the coming days. People will look at your peaceful face and wonder how you survived the blazing fire, but you will simply smile and keep your sacred secrets hidden. Your new frequency is entirely immune to their petty human jealousy. The arrows they shoot at your back will simply bounce off your heavy spiritual armor. God has elevated you far above the reach of ordinary toxic drama. You are sitting on a quiet throne of divine authority today, and nobody can ever take this hard-earned crown away from your head. Go out into the physical world with absolute, unshakable confidence. Walk slowly and breathe deeply, because there is absolutely no need to rush anymore. Your massive timeline is firmly anchored in perfect divine exactness. Everything you touch from this moment forward will gracefully prosper. The difficult season of painful lack is officially a distant memory fading into the dark background. May the highest divine peace rest permanently upon your beautiful soul. May your future days be filled with effortless abundance and profound joy. You are deeply loved by the universe, and heaven is incredibly proud of your massive and quiet endurance. Step gracefully into your bright new season today. Your divine shift is totally complete.